They told me the land was abandoned. They called it a clerical error. They called it community consolidation. My grandfather's name had been on that deed for 60 years. My children had chased fireflies in those meadows. But on a bright Tuesday morning, the HOA's lawyer slid a packet across my kitchen table and said, without looking me in the eye, "We have title." I remember the weight of that envelope. My name, Frank Marcus, printed on the top. My hands felt suddenly too big for it. The HOA president showed up the next day in a polished car and a plastic smile. He spoke about bylaws and covenants as if they were scripture. "We're preserving community integrity," he said. "This property belongs to the association now," I wanted to shout. Instead, I poured coffee and read every page. There, buried in notarized ink, was the explanation. An old tax lien, a misfiled notice, and a chain of signatures that somehow erased a family from the map. The law had a way of wearing out a name if enough hands rubbed at it. But my grandfather taught me two things: how to mend a fence and how to keep records. So I did what he would have done. I collected deeds, old tax receipts, a photograph of my grandfather planting the first oak, an affidavit from the neighbor who'd been born 2 houses down. I hired a municipal attorney, Tom, and together we read the county codes until they surrendered their secrets. Legal fights are slow fires. We filed motions, demanded audits, and made the HOA's consolidation a headline. We showed old utility bills with my grandfather's name, school records, and a ledger stamped with dates that matched the deed. The lawyer for the HOA sputtered and threatened. They called me a nuisance. I let them. Nuisances get noticed. Court dates came and went. There were nights I sat on the porch, listening to frogs, wondering if the fight would ever be worth it. My son would come over and stare at the fields, asking if we were going to lose the apple trees. I promised him we would not. That promise felt heavier than any brief. In the end, the judge read the documents and said quietly what I'd known all along. Titles don't erase memory. The county clerk reissued the deed to my name. The HOA was ordered to reimburse costs and remove their filing from public record. I watched that man in the tailored jacket speak into a camera and say, "We regret the confusion." Regret looks thin on a man who once looked at me like a problem. Winning the case was not the full answer. Paper restores ownership, but it cannot rebuild afternoons or the sound of a creek. So I began to build something that would hold memory in bricks and trees and light. I put my hands to work. I cleared invasive brush. I fenced the stream with new posts my grandfather would have approved. I planted apple saplings where the old ones had thinned. I invited the neighbors, old and new, and we hammered and planted together. The sanctuary grew slowly, a bench beneath the highest oak, a stone path that traced the old cart tracks, a small wildflower meadow that smelled like late summer. We put up a simple plaque: Marcus Field, restored to family, preserved for all. On the day the ribbon was cut, the HOA president watched from behind the crowd, his shoulders smaller than before. Children ran ahead and my son took my hand. I felt the place breathe beneath my feet. Not mine alone anymore, but ours in the truest sense. Justice had given me back the deed. The work of making it sacred again gave me back something more. A place that would outlast disputes. A quiet sanctuary stitched together by ordinary people who remembered how to care. When the sunlight hit the meadow that afternoon, it looked less like a victory and more like an invitation. I smiled, and the world felt finally properly home. Type legacy if you'd have fought to protect your family's land too. Like and subscribe for more stories.